According to the report done by the EMC Corporation, we're living in the information explosion era. What does it mean? Well, the world's data used to double every century, but now it doubles every 2 years. This explosion is driven by the Internet of Things, by mobile devices, and our ability to generate more digital content than ever before. It is also fueled by enterprises all over the world transitioning to interfacing with their customers via Web 2.0 and mobile technologies. Now, here's an intriguing statistics on how quickly this is happening. The digital universe will grow from 4 zettabytes of data in 2013 to whopping 44 zettabytes in 2020. Where is this data coming from? Is it any different from what we used to deal with 5 or 10 years ago? And most importantly, what sets it apart when it comes to storing and analyzing it? Arguably, this trend began when businesses started to shift how they interact with their customers. As I said, now this shift is clearly moving towards Web 2.0 and mobile technologies. It further accelerated when social networks became all but ubiquitous in our life. Put both of these together, and you get a perfect storm of ever-growing amounts of data that can be used to analyze customer behavior or optimize business outcomes. Moreover, you get that data coming at you much quicker than before, and also getting stale much faster. Finally, if you get much more diverse set of data sources available to you, from user click streams, mobile web tracking, speech-to-text conversion, and other types of immersive technologies, then you have even more data diversity than you could possibly imagine. To appreciate how different this data collection environment is, consider the following example. If you were a retail business operating a fleet of stores in the United States 20 years ago, the bulk of the customer interaction data would come from your own cash registers in physical stores, tracking both purchases and payment methods. Today, you are likely operating a digital storefront on the web, and in addition to the brick-and-mortar data, you are getting much more. For starters, you're getting very detailed web logs, tracking how customers are interacting with your website. Then, you're also tracking each individual customer profile, knowing when to target them for certain promotions, or even what items they may be interested in purchasing. All of that based on the past behavior or demographics that they belong to. Outside of your own digital footprint, you can also track your customers' sentiment on social media and through the search engines that they use to come to the website. And if that wasn't enough, you also get to track your customers in real world by keeping track of markers such as Wi-Fi and cellular IDs. All of a sudden, just storing this tremendous amount of information becomes a challenge. Now throw analytics requirements into the mix and you start to understand why something like Hadoop had to be created. Hadoop actually set out to provide an effective platform for storing and analyzing data streams that had 3 very unique challenges. So let's talk about those. Those are known as 3 V's of big data, and they are data volume, data velocity, and data variety. In 2001, the industry analyst Doug Laney described big data using those 3 V's, and the name kind of stuck. They really do capture the essence of big data perfectly well. In a way, it wouldn't be an oversimplification to say that they have become a definition for big data. All 3 of those terms should be pretty self-explanatory, especially in context of our previous example, but let's quickly walk through them one by one. Variety is all about the fact that unstructured and semi-structured data is becoming as strategic as the traditional structured data that you would store in a relational database. Volume speaks for itself. Data is coming in forms of new sources as well as increased regulation in multiple areas, meaning storing more data for a longer period of time becomes a necessity. Velocity is a requirement that machine data, as well as data coming from new sources, is being ingested at speeds not even imagined a few years ago. So whenever anybody says that Hadoop is a big data technology, what they're really saying is that Hadoop was designed from the ground up to deal with all 3 of these V's. Specifically, Hadoop is well suited for any scenario where the volume and variety of data types overwhelm the existing systems, and when the data velocity is also something too much for them to handle.